So welcome back to another Breaking Bad episode. This episode is called Granite. Now this episode pretty much picks up where we left off last week, where Walter White is going into hiding. Pretty much he starts a new life with a new identity. So pretty much this episode is a Walter White episode, and where it sprinkles here and there with Jesse. This episode with Jesse's still captured by the Nazis, and we see him trying to escape. And he does get away for a little bit, but he still gets caught. And Jesse's saying, why you still have me alive? Kill me already. I'm not doing one more cook. So they say, you know what? Okay, you don't want to do one more cook for us? So Todd goes to Brock's mother's house and he says, I know where Jesse's at. Jesse's okay. He's right in that car over there. And when she comes out, she looks over there and boom, Todd kills her right in front of Jesse. And Jesse just breaks down completely. And pretty much, Jesse has nothing else to live for. And one of the uncles says, you know what? Keep cool, calm down, because you know what? Brock is still alive. So I advise you, you try to escape again, he gets it. This season is really not good for Jesse. I hope his character ends well, but wow, he has been through the mill in this season. So like I said before, this episode is pretty much a Walter White episode. Like I said before, he's in hiding. So we see, he's not really Heisenberg at the start of the episode, but he works his way back to being Heisenberg. He still tries to redeem himself of Hank's murder, because even when he's still in hiding, he says, look, he tells Saul, the lawyer, who's also there with him because he's going to hiding too. He tells Saul, the uncles killed Hank. I want revenge. I want Hitman to kill him out because he took what I worked for, and plus he killed my family. But Saul's not really going for it. He said, look, there's no way you can do this without getting caught. And honestly, Saul is right. Saul is pretty much done with it. He said, you know what? You're on your own. It's over. So as he starts his new life, they finally find him a place in New Hampshire. So he stays there for about a month. And he's still going through regret. He's up there for like a month by himself. So you see that it's like he's really worrying about his family, because he asked the guy who brought him up there, he said, what's going on? Whenever he's reading the newspapers. And you kind of see that his cancer is back. He's getting more sicker. And you kind of see he has nothing else to live. So he even begs the guy, please stay with me for another hour or two, because he's just really lonely. And the guy says, look, I stay with you for another hour, but that's it. Even still, he still cares for his family, because he says, look, if I die today or tomorrow, can you promise me that you give the rest of my money to my family? And the guy says, look, if I say yes, will you believe me? So pretty much he doesn't really care. Pretty much Walter White in this episode was down in the dumps completely, because he has nothing else to live for. And we see here, and we also see here that you can tell that he feels that he's about to die. He's on his last wheel, so to speak. So he calls Walt Jr. saying, you know what, son, what I did it for the family. I mean, I did it for you. I did it for your mother. I did it for you guys to have a better life. And pretty much Walter Jr. says, look, what you did, you killed Uncle Hank. There's nothing I can do to forgive you. Say, why don't you just die already? But Walter, hearing that, he pretty much gives up on any hope of redeeming himself. So he hangs up the phone from Walt Jr. and calls the DEA and saying, you know what? I want to speak to the guy who's in charge of the Walter White case. And the guy asks, who's calling? Walter White, which I thought was a funny moment in the episode. As he is sitting in the bar waiting for the DEA to come, he sees a TV program with his former partners saying that, Walter White was never really a part of the company. The only part he really had with it was giving it the name. And then when the reporter asked him, he said, do you think Walter White is gone? And one of the partners says, well, yeah, he is gone, because the sweet old man we used to know is not Walter White. He's gone. It's just Heisenberg now. And that little scene right there, you can just tell, switch just flipped, because throughout this whole entire episode, we see Walter White. But the last 5 minutes of this episode, or the scene, was Heisenberg. You just seen him flip the script, and it just looks like he's going out with a bang. Pretty much for me, this episode was okay. I kind of consider this episode as a filler episode until next week. But I kind of liked it, especially the last 10 minutes of the episode. And for me, I get this episode a good 4 out of 5 stars. Like I said before, it's a filler episode. And we kind of don't know what he's going to do next week. So it leaves everything up to the imagination, which I like, because we don't know what's going to happen. But I'm definitely excited for next week. So like I said before, this episode gets a 4 out of 5 stars. Not really much to go on here. So, guys, if you like this review, please rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, Nation.